Hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally big things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Things. And on the Sunday Stuff and Things, we have stuff and things to talk about, including, I seem to have forgotten my notes, and so I'm going to try to do this from memory. We have upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and working. I'm going to talk a little bit about, what was it? Oh, I think it was the fact that ever since I've moved and things have been kind of in upheaval for me, I have really run towards photography and taking a camera with me all the time. And I want to talk a little bit about what that does. It sort of changes your mindset and you start thinking about things in a different way. Kind of an interesting little discussion there. And then of course we have your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag askstuffandthings. And I just want to talk about the fact that things have changed as far as my pipe hobby enjoyment. I can pretty much only S my P in my vehicle when I'm driving to work or at work. There isn't really any place nearby. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. It's put a damper on the whole pipe thing, but I'm developing ways. Obviously, I have to adjust. And so we'll talk about that a bit as well. So let's get into it. All right, gang, so what can you look forward to on Stuff and Things and working? Well, this coming week, we're going to have the first impressions video for Rattray's Marlin Flake. This is a blend that a lot of people have wanted me to review, and so the first impressions video is coming up this week. The week after that, we'll be doing the weird little video in the How to Do Stuff and Things series, where I'm just basically talking about moved into a new place and I hated the water pressure out of the faucet in the bathroom. And so I show you a quick, simple, very inexpensive fix for that. If you're dealing with a faucet that just barely puts out any water in your bathroom, in your sink, whatever faucet in your house, I show you a quick way to remedy that. And then the week after that, we will do the full review of Rattray's Marlin Flake. Interesting blend. Had some interesting thoughts on this, and so I've already recorded the first impressions video and the full review. I just recorded the full review, and my opinion altered a bit from the first impressions to the full review, but I don't know. Stay tuned and watch those videos. This is interesting stuff. I was kind of conflicted about it because a lot of people love this, and there were a lot of things that I loved about it, but there were some caveats, so stay tuned. And then we're going to have a lot more photography stuff. I've been doing photography like crazy lately, and so lots more coming along with that. As I'm sure you've noticed, I am outside. There's a lot of extraneous noise and stuff. Hopefully it's not going to be too bad. Might be a train break, I don't know. I am quite close to train tracks here. Just thought it was a fun place to walk around. Interesting background. It's a place that I come a lot to do photography as well. Anyway, first topic for today's video is going to be the fact that in my new place, not only can you not SAP indoors, because you pretty much can't do that anywhere indoors in the United States anymore, but the entire grounds are off limits. So even if you're sitting in the parking lot in your vehicle, if you're outside, there's kind of, there are park benches and picnic tables and things like that. It is completely banned anywhere on site. And so the only places I can do it now are if I'm driving in my vehicle to work in the mornings. I can do it during my lunch breaks at work. I can do it if I just go for a walk or something. But I used to do the evening pipe where I would be able to go out on the porch or just, near my apartment, just sit back or even just sit in my car and enjoy that contemplative or contemplative time with my pipe. And I can't really do that anymore because I'm not going to go out at 9:30 at night and walk 100 yards away from my apartment and try to find a place. It also rains a lot in Bellingham, and so that makes it difficult. I guess I could get in my vehicle and just drive somewhere and park, but it's really changed how I feel about the whole pipe thing. It's still something I really enjoy, and it's something that we're still going to be talking about a lot on this channel. But as far as it being a mainstay daily thing for me, I don't think it's going to stay that way. And I think a lot of you out there are similar in your approach to the pipe hobby, where you don't do it every day. It's something you do maybe a few times a week. And that's kind of the cool thing about it, is because I was doing it every single day. And you would think, oh, well, that means you're addicted to it. You need it. You have to have it. But I don't. Like, I went weeks. I think I went 2 full weeks without having a pipe at all. And it was absolutely fine. And I don't know. I think that's kind of cool in a way. I'm curious if any of you out there have had similar experiences where you've gone from kind of one relationship with the pipe to a different kind of relationship, where maybe you did it more often and then you did it a lot less. And how did that affect you? Was it a difficult transition, or was it easy? Or vice versa, if you did it very little and then went to it a lot. It's just cool. It's not a dependency. It's not something I need to do. It's something I really enjoy to do, and I make time to do it, but I don't have to do it. Let me know what it's like for you in the comments below. I think I'm becoming slightly less self-conscious about talking to a camera out in public. Slightly. People are walking by and staring at me, which is weird because we live in a time of like vlogging and TikTok and YouTube and everything, and you would think people would be used to that, but people still stare. It's fine. But now I'm going to talk about the fact that I have really embraced photography as kind of an escape. You know, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of upheaval in my life lately. Most not for the better, but you know, getting through it, everything's going to be fine. But one thing that I've really started doing is just always having a camera with me. And I've been making time, you know, I'll get off work in the late afternoon, early evening, and because it's staying lighter longer these days, I will get cleaned up and I'll grab a camera and I'll just walk, and I'll walk around with the camera. And it has been a really nice escape and a way for me to sort of feel like I'm part of the world in a weird way, because I was feeling pretty lonely and pretty isolated. But when I have this camera with me, I'm walking around downtown. I moved closer to downtown Bellingham now, and so I can just walk for a couple blocks and suddenly I'm right in the middle of downtown. Not that it's this bustling, vibrant downtown, it's a smaller city, but I'm just interacting with people. I'm asking people if I can take their photographs. Even if I'm not asking, I'm sort of a part of the activities that are going on around me. I'm paying a lot more attention to the people around me. I'm not just, you know, walking somewhere with this tunnel vision. I'm always looking. I'm looking for a good photograph. I'm looking for an opportunity. And it's really made me feel connected. I went on a photo walk yesterday where it was just fantastic. I got a few good pictures, and I get a few good pictures almost every time I go out. Let me show you a couple. There's some pretty good ones that I got last time. Now that's not bad, and that's just a little city like Bellingham. So if you live in a place like, I don't know, New York or a major city, wherever it is in the world, there will be countless opportunities for photographs. And the fact that I'm always taking a camera with me means that I'm always looking for photographs. And the few times where I haven't actually had my camera, I will of course see something where I wish I had my camera so I could take that picture. Now you might say, oh, well, you've got your phone on you all the time. I think I have my phone on me, yes. So you always do have a camera, but it's different. When you have an actual dedicated camera, you think about it differently. It's more, it means more when you take a picture. I've been using just a smaller portable digital camera that can still take really nice pictures. It's a Fujifilm camera. I sold a guitar and some other gear and got that because I was like, I want to bring a camera with me all the time. My Canon R6 that I'm using to film this video is a little too bulky to always have with me, but this camera is just great. You can always have it, and there are just so many opportunities, and I've really been loving it. It's been a nice kind of form of therapy. It's really helped my transition into this new kind of life that I'm living right now. And it's something I'm going to be keeping up with. I'm going to keep doing photography, and you guys are going to be hearing about it because, as I've mentioned many times, this channel is about the stuff and things that I am into. So hopefully you enjoy photographic content because there will be more incoming. And of course, pipe stuff as well. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet X At SAT Bradley with the hashtag askstuffandthings. You can write to me via Patreon. If you are a Patreon supporter, go right to the front of the line. You can hit that super thanks button under this video and go right to the front of the line, or you can leave comments, questions, and feedback in the comment section of my YouTube videos. First, we have a question via Patreon as a loud racing bike goes by here. Let me take a sip of my tasty beverage. This is from Kyle Waitkunas, one of our newest $25, I guess you could say producer level supporters on Patreon. Kyle says, do you use pipe filters? If not, why not? If so, which do you use? Charcoal, balsa, etc. If you had to use a filter, which would you use? I do not use pipe filters. I never have. I think I've tried a couple times and I just didn't like it. My opinion has always been, since I'm not inhaling the pipe smoke anyway, I don't really see the use of the filter. Other people will argue with me on this, and I know that there are some people who don't inhale and they use filters and they love them. For me, I feel like it robs a little bit of the flavor, but more than the flavor, it robs the body and the mouthfeel from the smoke. And I like that. I like how it's almost a meal. You can chew it when it's in your mouth, but when you have a pipe filter, it tends to kind of rob some of that from it. Again, your mileage may vary. A lot of people really like filters, but I never use them and I never have. If I had to pick one, I don't know. I don't have enough experience with any of them to pick one. I think the only kind I've used are the balsa ones, but I didn't really like them. Next, we have another Patreon question. This is from Sapphire Weapon. Okay, the racing bike guy has just parked in the street and is revving his engine. There you go, buddy. Careful your penis doesn't drag on the ground as you drive away. Okay, Sapphire Weapon, another Patreon supporter, thank you. I got a question. What would you consider to be the most valuable lessons you had to learn in life as a human being? Wow, curious what the answer will be. All the best for you and stay true to yourself. Cheers from Jens. This is a tough one, and it's not something that I can just flippantly answer. I mean, there are so many life lessons and things that you would learn as you experience things, you interact with people, you make mistakes. I'd say for me personally, the most valuable lesson has been to always try to find, how do I put this exactly? I've had issues like with depression and stuff in the past, especially when I was in my 20s, and I think I really learned to appreciate everything. And that sounds very broad, but I think I've mentioned before how I'm never bored. Boredom is not a thing with me, and it's because I am interested in everything. I'm fascinated by everything. I keep myself interested in life and experiences and knowledge. And so it's something you have to practice, maybe. For some people, this might not come naturally, but I have learned to appreciate everything. I'll see a particular flower or something on the side of the street, and I go and take a look at it, and I smell it, and it smells good, and I like how it looks. I like how the sun hits it, and the way the light, the interplay with the light and the shadows, with what are the parts of the flower? The pestle? No. The pestle? That's a mortar and pestle. Anyway, the petals, everything else, the stamen? What are the sexual organs of the flower? I don't know. Anyway, a cloud, a bird, just anything as I'm walking around. And that's just talking about like vision and seeing things, but also just learning an interesting fact. I don't know, just learn to appreciate all the little things. I like being alive. I like experiencing things. I like meeting a new person. I like having a conversation. That sounds like such a stupid, simple thing to say, but there are so many people who just seem bored constantly, and I'm never bored. So just, for me, the most important life lesson has been to learn to appreciate everything. Hopefully that's a good answer. All right, now from YouTube, we have a super thanks from @MDB831. Thank you very much. They say, do you have a local tea shop you can link up with that allows indoor essing to do pipe videos? It might be an option. Much love from the People's Republic of Massachusetts. There isn't one in Bellingham. I have heard of one in Linden, a town that's kind of north of here. So I might check that out. But yeah, it's a good suggestion. We have @BlindSquirrel74 with another super thanks. Thank you very much. Best of luck in the future, Bradley, and thank you for the years of great content. Thank you very much, Blind Squirrel. All right, now we have feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. The first is from @McKay82. I kind of like the roughness of this. So last week's video I did in my new apartment without the proper camera and the proper lighting and the proper microphone and all that stuff. I kind of cringed when I saw it. Some people said they liked it. Reminds me of the first vids of yours from back when I first started watching your channel a decade ago. Had just started my pipe-essing hobby. The future is bright. Thank you, McKay82. We have @TomBrown1898. Bradley, I have the ultimate shower head story for you. I was talking about how important a good shower head is for me. I always change it when I go to a new apartment. Back in 2008, I needed to find a cheap apartment in a bit of a hurry, and I found it. I signed a lease and moved in. Shower heads have never been that big of a deal to me, so I didn't check it out. Didn't even move the shower curtain aside until the following morning. I looked down at the spout and taps, trying to find the doohickey to switch the water flow to the shower head. Then I looked up from one end of the tub to the other and back again before it dawned on me that my new home had no shower. Lesson for the day, never mistake the presence of a shower curtain as proof of a shower behind it. I could not imagine not having a shower. I know if there was no way I could take a shower, I would get used to it, but I haven't had a bath since I was like maybe 4 years old. Very, very small child. That would be crazy to have to take that much time to wash every day. This is from @LedgerAndLace, our good friend Hallie. Regarding contemplative or contemplative, reminds me of Mike Myers saying, "You've put the emphasis on the wrong syllable." I've heard it both ways. Moving sucks. Even when it's a good thing, never mind when it's not. I hope your new place feels more and more like home to you as you get more settled. Thank you very much. We have @TheNewMedia of the Dawn. Moving is certainly a biatch. Glad it worked out. New beginnings. Funny. I last moved in 2021 of July, and after 2 days of hard work and sweat, spent 2 hours looking for my underwear in the chaos to take a simple shower. It was so annoying, but I finally found them. Question. Were you going to put your underwear on while you took the shower? Because usually you put it on afterwards. @AshesOfThePhoenix4605, I'm interested in that coffee mug thing you're drinking out of. What brand and stuff is it? Is it Stanley? I love Stanley. Whoa! I got a beer stein with a lid, which I use for all my beer. It's awesome. This is a clean canteen. I don't know if okay, there is a logo on there. I'm not sure if you can see it. I had a clean canteen coffee mug before. This is their insulated wide mouth 20 ounce. And it is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Has a very nice leak-proof lid. Nothing comes out, but it has, you know, coffee sipper kind of lid that you can crack open. Has a little loop on the top so you can hang it from things if you wish, and it keeps stuff hot for a very long time. I think it's over 20 hours. It's really good. Next. This is from @HexeterBonsai. Truly, the only thing I enjoy about a move is the decluttering. That's it. Otherwise, I hate it. The excitement of a new place is cool, but the process of nesting in is very love-hate for me if it doesn't go well. You wouldn't be willing to share where you got your brass fixtures, would you? I also loathe the showers in hotels. Yeah, and I did take a lot of time. I spent about 2 weeks before I moved just going through pretty much every one of my possessions and getting rid of things I didn't need. That felt good. The brass fixtures, there's a local hardware store in Bellingham called Hardware Sales, and they have these brass shower heads that are about that long. They're very small and about that wide, and they're just super simple, super basic. They don't have any of those low flow restrictors in them, and it just concentrates the water into this really nice spray, and it's fantastic. I don't know if I could find one online or find a link or anything. It was just what they had at the local hardware store, and I've had it for years. We don't have hard water in Bellingham, so I've never had to replace it. It's just been great. I love it. Okay, now we have some feedback from trying snacks in Thailand, or from Thailand. I had some interesting things in the last Stuff and Things that was on last Wednesday. Really cool snacks from Thailand. This is from @user ZJ9. I'm still recording, everything's good, you can still hear me? Good. Fun fact, lotus seeds can actually be highly psychedelic. So one of the things I had were lotus seeds, which was a new thing for me. I'm assuming these are processed in a way that they are not. I'm assuming there's different varieties of lotus and different varieties of lotus seeds. So I'm assuming that whatever ones these were, they were the non-psychedelic kind. At Tom Brown 1898, Bradley, you need to try fresh kumquats. Another one of the snacks was kumquat rind, and I did not like it at all. They are really tart and hardly sweet at all. I introduced the great love of my life to kumquats, and she introduced me to hot and sour soup. Win-win exchange. But kumquats can be fun to play with, not so much the soup. Fun to play with. Okay. I don't know if you're juggling, you're playing badminton with them or something. Yeah, I can picture a kumquat, but I'm pretty sure I've never tasted one. There are all sorts of weird little citrusy fruits. Are kumquats the original orange? Is that what oranges came from? Because none of the citrus fruits we eat now are natural, for the most part. They're all kind of hybrids. I'll have to look into that. Then we have at Ledger and Lace once again, tamarind. There was, what was the tamarind thing I had? I can't remember, but there was something that was flavored with tamarind. Tamarind can go sweet or savory. It's used in Indian cooking. I've heard that. I like it with papadum, lentil wafers, lotus seeds. They turn into dry powder in your mouth. There's a marketing slogan. Kumquats are like mini oranges and is a family joke. Growing up, it was my brother's standard answer for what he was giving up for Lent. We never had kumquats. Years later, as adults, one of us got a box of them as a joke for him, and my mother made marmalade with them. It wasn't as bitter as regular marmalade. You can also get cans of mango pulp from Indian grocery stores. That's what they use in mango lassi yogurt drinks. Interesting, but there's nothing like fresh mangoes. I do need to try to find some mangoes. I don't know when they're in season, but I should. This was very interesting. Nothing beats your spam face, though. Ugh, I think that was my spam face. Thank you very much, Hallie's, Ledger, and Lace, and thank you all for keeping the comments rolling in. Please, make sure you comment. You give me feedback. You ask me questions on my videos because it really helps the show go. It helps to have some interaction with you and know what you're kind of keying in on and what you're liking. But now, gang, it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. Especially now, it has been a huge help for me to be able to keep this channel going. I can't monetize any of the videos that have anything to do with pipes or pipe tea. And so if you like the content that you see on this channel, your support on Patreon will keep that content coming. We're still on a drive to get $105 supporters. So if you like what I do and you want to support the channels, there is a link in the description box below. And every week we shout out the producers, the people who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Glenn Dunnington, Jason Buckner, David Gaudreau, Ryan McFadin, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, Jonathon Proctor, Kyle Waitkunas, ConCoClem, and Charles Mowers. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month, people like Bob Magee. And we'll never forget our dearly departed friend and Hall of Fame member, Peter Straub. Gang, I cannot see the screen on my camera because it is so bright out here, but hopefully all the settings were right. I have my ND filter on here. Hopefully everything looks good. I guess I'll figure that out once I do the edit here in a little bit. But I think this is gonna work. I'm not gonna be doing stuff outside all the time, but I kind of enjoy this, especially since we're getting into spring and the weather's getting better. Don't know how we're gonna do the pipe tobacco stuff during the winter. I may just have to drive someplace and do them in my car or something, but we'll figure it out. But I'm liking this. I'm liking the fact maybe I'll show you some different scenery on different weeks, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this as well. Please stay tuned for all the good stuff coming up. But until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a Stuff and Things, a Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later. Really got to go to the bathroom.